second she'll do it again.
Her finger. That's not standard.
I noticed it last night. When looking in the update, it's a whole new class of gestures. It's the tiny things that make them seem real. And make the guests fall in love with them.
Shall we drink to the lady with the white shoes?
Old Bill here was always a good listener. He was the second host we ever built. Were you with us in those days, Bernard, or was that before your time? The problem, Bernard, is that what you and I do is so complicated. And we create life itself out of chaos.
How did you do that? Is it magic?
Everything in this world is magic, except to the magician.
Park, besting fearsome braves, seducing newborn maidens, befriending tragically ill-fated sidekicks.
The coward dies 1,000 deaths, and the valiant taste of death but once. Of course, Shakespeare never met a man quite like you, Teddy. See, but our new designs gained in efficiency.
One day I awoke. Your voice is the first thing I remember. What you were trying to tell me. The thing you've wanted since that.
Dolores.
I did tell you the truth, Bernard. What we do here is complicated. For 3 years, we lived here in the park, refining the host before a single guest set foot inside. Those early years were glorious. No guests, no board meetings, just pure creation. Our hosts began to pass the Turing test after the first year. But that wasn't enough for Arnold. He wasn't interested in the appearance of intellect, of wit. He wanted the real thing. He wanted to create consciousness. He imagined it as a pyramid. See? Memory, improvisation, self-interest.
And at the top?
Never got there. But he had a notion of what it might be. He based it on a theory of consciousness called the bicameral mind.
The idea that primitive man believed his thoughts to be the voice of the gods. I thought it was debunked.
No, it's a theory for understanding the human mind, perhaps, but not as a blueprint for building an artificial one. You see, Arnold built a version of their cognition in which the hosts heard their programming as an inner monologue, with the hopes that in time their own voice would take over. It was a way to bootstrap consciousness. But Arnold hadn't considered two things. One, that in this place, the last thing you want the hosts to be is conscious, and two, the other group who considered their thoughts to be the voices of the gods.
Lunatics.
Indeed. We abandoned the approach. The only vestiges that remain are the voice commands we use to control them. But for all his brilliance, I don't think Arnold understood what this place was going to be. You see, the guests enjoy power. They cannot indulge it in the outside world, so they come here, as for the hosts, the least we can do is make them forget.
But some of them are remembering, accessing fragments of Arnold's code.
Detective, what are you doing?
Well, you said they've all been programmed with the 3 laws, so that means we have 1,000 robots that will not try to protect themselves if it violates a direct order from a human. And I'm betting one who will.
Detective, put your gun down.
Why do you give them faces? Try to friendly them all up, make them look all human.
These robots are not susceptible to intimidation.
I guess if you didn't, we wouldn't trust them. These things are just lights and clockwork.
Are you crazy?
Let me ask you something, Doc. Does thinking you're the last sane man on the face of the earth make you crazy? Because if it does, maybe I am. Gotcha.
Get the hell out of here!
What am I? Can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir?
There he is! Stand where you are! Deactivate at once! Obey the command! Deactivate!
One guy a long time ago.
Command confirmed.
Hello?
Hi. I'm Caleb.
Hello, Caleb.
Do you have a name?
Yes. Ava.
I'm pleased to meet you, Ava.
I'm pleased to meet you too. I've never met anyone new before. Only Nathan.
Then I guess we're both in quite a similar position.
Haven't you met lots of new people before?
None like you. So we need to break the ice. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
What do I mean?
Overcome initial social awkwardness.
So let's have a conversation.
Okay. What would you like to have a conversation about?
Why don't we start with you telling me something about yourself?
What would you like to know?
Whatever comes into your head.
Well, you already know my name. And you can see that I'm a machine. Would you like to know how old I am?
Sure.
I'm 1.
1 what? 1 year or 1 day?
1.
When did you learn how to speak, Ava?
I always knew how to speak. And that's strange, isn't it?
Why?
Because language is something that people acquire.
Well, some people believe language exists from birth, and what is learned is the ability to attach words and structure to the latent ability. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. Will you come back tomorrow, Caleb?
Yes.
Good.
Specialist training as a field agent.
Don't worry. I'm special enough for both of us.
What the?
Captain. You're commanding officer. 4th generation biotech, and I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to deal with it.
I'm sorry, what? Captain?
Do you feel as though you can trust me, Harper? We're about to enter a war zone. If I continue to instill shock and distrust, I'll file your removal papers myself, and you'll have to deal with the consequences. Now, do you trust me?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Be well, Lieutenant Lenina Huxley.
Don't you think?
I try not to. However, you're young. Think all you want. Things don't happen anymore. We've taken care of all that. I'll fiber off you back after the morning parole hearings. Have a peachy day, Lieutenant. Be well.
Be well.
Vector 137, upcoming Santa Monica Boulevard.
Self-drive on.
Self-drive engaged.
Self-drive.
Unable to execute.
Self-drive now.
Malfunction. Unable to execute. Self-drive engaged.
Break!
It's zombie time. I'd buckle up if I were you.
Safety sensors overridden.
Thank you.